Welcome to Narrowboat that James built. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining me. I am working out the door for the pocket door to go on the bathroom here. So this one is going to be my first one to do. Most of the pocket doors are going to be inside the cavity at all times, so you're not going to see it often. But this one's going to be made out of all timber, because that's pretty much all I've got on board at the moment. But it's going to be put together slightly differently because of the way that this has already been attached. Basically, I can't hang the door with that in situ. So I've got to hang some of the door with that in situ and then finish the door. So it's not ideal at all. On this one, the one I did yesterday, we'll be able to put in slightly differently, because I can attach the door onto the frame so it can be the full height, and then I can put on that wall. So that one is going to be different, but which is why I've changed it, because this one here has got a slight design flaw in terms of fitting the door. And as I said, this is going to be the middle of the three pocket doors. So I don't mind if the design of this one is going to be slightly different, or the material is used, shall I say, is going to be slightly different. Right, I've made this piece here, which I'm not sure if this is going to work here. I don't know if this is going to have enough rigidity as a door, but my plan is basically to make it up in panels and laminate them all together. So that's the piece for there. So now I've got to transpose that to this board, make another one, and then that's going to give me 18 mil. And then my plan is to go in just on this door with a bit of this 5 mil ply as the kind of bit between it, sandwich it between those two, which is going to give me a door width, what's that, 23 mil. So, which is exactly the door width I need. So I'm going to give this a go and see if it's going to work. But next up, I need to cut another one of those out, and then all these other shapes. So there's 5 panels in total on this door. So let's give it a go. Right, this is where I've got up to. So I now need to measure out. So this is the right proportions. So it's 800 between the widest parts. So I need to measure that and make 2 bits to go at the bottom all the way across, and then the join here at the top. Right, this bit has been done. I've done it so the grain is going the same way, so it's all dropping down, because obviously that's the same grain pattern as the wall. So now I've just got to measure out that bottom piece, which is going to go all the way along, so I have to glue that in at the end, because obviously this one's got to be, if it was full height I wouldn't be able to fit it in. The other doors I'm going to do differently, but I'm thinking it's going to work. Now I'm going to have a central one across there as well, which will leave 2 kind of recessed bits, and that will be all painted or coloured or something or other. Right, I've come to Travis Perkins to get myself another 5 mil board, but to fit it inside the car I'm going to have to trim it down here. So I bought my jigsaw. Well, not the best cut, but it'll get me in the car anyway. Right, now I've got a half decent size 5 mil board. My new plan is to basically make the door out of this. So this is going to be the central core, if you like, of the 3 bits of laminate. But if I get this the right shape, then I can stick the other bits onto it. Then I'll be able to properly judge if I'm going to be able to fit it in situ or not. Right, that's where I've got up to so far. I think I need to keep this bottom bit as it is in case I do need to add a bit of trim at the bottom later. Now I just need to kind of go around, cut this properly, and on that side, and then down there, and then maybe offer it up and see how kind of rigid it is. Well, it's not going to be at all, is it? Because it's 5 mil. Then I can start gluing this stuff onto it. some new trim up here. You can see my fingers and stuff, and obviously the door's going to be eclipsing most of that. But that works. Well, it's the right size. Okay. What next? Coffee. Right, to make life a little bit easier for myself, I'm going to see if I can try to remount this. So that din rail there, I can attach to that one. At the moment, they're kind of all as one. And what I want to do is separate that batten and that din rail from that batten and that din rail. So then I can have that one in place with that wall up, put the door on, put that one back on, and screw it through onto those brackets there. See, at the moment, they're kind of going all the way through, which isn't going to be required. Well, hopefully not. That will make getting the door in a lot easier. I've made a bit of progress here. I've managed to get that din rail independently secured, all nice and straight and true. So that means I can now make up the door fully, hang it in situ, then put the second one on if I can get the other one to line up, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So this looks like it's going to be an improved version of version 1. But, yeah, that's, there we go, yeah, that's got quite a nice slidey action to it. Okay, yeah, that is choppy. Oh, that's Rob's cover for his skylight. It's blown off. See if I've got anything long enough to fetch this. A full stretch, I managed to get that. Had to use Rob's barge pole as well, which is rather apt. Well, here we go. The pocket door is in place. She fits pretty nicely. Opens and closes. Yeah, I think that might work. So, what I need to do, and when I say might work, it means I can build the door and then just mount it straight onto this and then put the second din rail on. So, what I can do now is to, I've also got some little wheels to go, casters to go on the floor, on the bottom of the door to make it, to let it run easier. I don't know if I'm going to need a groove or a channel to keep it all straight and true. Obviously these walls will be pretty fixed in place, well they will be fixed in place obviously by the shower on that side and the cupboard on that side. So the walls aren't going to move at all. But yeah, we'll see. Right, so let's start gluing stuff to this. Right, I'm having a rethink because I don't have to leave that void to add on the bit of trim at the end because I can make the door in full now, which means that the main frame of the door, the two bits of 9mm ply, don't need to be all in sections. I could make it out of one sheet. It's quite, well, it might not be that wasteful because I could keep the middle part and do something with it. It will make it look a lot better, and it will mean gluing it will be a lot easier because all I've got to do is make two frames of that, cut the holes, cut the middle bits out so it's two kind of outside edges, glue it all together, and within a few hours that'll all be done. I'm thinking that might be the way to go. So that's 2 more full boards, that's 40 quid. So that means it's £60 a door, which isn't bad because the piece of, if this wasn't going to be painted ply, if that was going to be perspex like I thought it was going to be, the cost of that has skyrocketed, and that's 130 quid a board just for the perspex. So I think this is going to be a cheaper way of doing it. Yeah, let's do this. Right, time to cut out this first one. Right, now I've cut that out, I can now mark out any kind of border, and for that matter shape I'd like. So I'm wondering whether I should write round the edges a little bit so it goes up like that. I don't know, I've also got to put in that cross batten as well, which isn't on the original one, so I've got to make sure I put that in.
Come with me to my favorite place. Watch the water, watch my face. Underneath the willow tree. Swing with me.
Not particularly easy to manoeuvre. Yeah, so that's what it's going to kind of look like when it's, well, obviously it won't. I'm guessing this will be, that stuff's going to be varnished. Now it's all in one piece. I'll be able to kind of, I don't know, maybe stain it or something so it's a different colour to the walls completely, to make it nice and dark or something like that. And get some gloss on it, so yeah, that'll be good. And then the other side will be the same. And then at the top, I should have 23 mil of saturated with, or ply saturated with glue to screw the top bits into the wheels. So now I need to make up another one of these, and then I can glue it all together.
All my worries fade away. You see me too. I'm smiling back at you. Run away with me. Come away with me.
Right, they've all been laminated together. I'm now going to position them on the floor and put some weight on them. Well, you've got to believe me, it's under there. Right, I'll let that go off for a few hours, get myself some grub and come back and check it out. Okay, it's the next day. That is still all gluing. But one thing I thought of last night is the floor. So, as I said, they're going to be on little wheels at the bottom of the door, just to kind of take the weight and to make it easier for it to slide. And obviously once the boat's finished, there's going to be flooring down there, but at the moment it's not going to be in there, so there's going to be a ridge at some point where the wheels are going to have to come over it. So I'm going to compensate for that now. Obviously I don't know what flooring I'm going to have down, but I can use some of the off-cut 5mm ply, glue that to the floor, so at least then it's a nice kind of smooth thing for that to roll across. And then whatever floor I've got there, if it's hopefully I'll get it at 5mm, then it'll be all the way flat across, which is going to make it much easier. Right, whilst I've got some time, whilst the glue goes off, I'm going to get another bit of trim put on this cupboard door. Nice a bit thinner than the other one. That's not going to work. That one might be right. Yeah, that's better. Right, I'll do this one then. Okay, it's now been 24 hours, so I can move the weight, shift it back onto port side so the boat's not listing as much, and see if this door is half rigid. Right, that weird whirring noise you can hear is the diesel stove kind of starting up. It feels quite rigid, to be honest. I know it kind of has a wobble, but it's going to. It's got a half decent weight to it. The only thing I don't know, I thought about this when watching the video back, is obviously there's a ridge on this side, but when it's out, I don't know how much of that ridge you see on the other side. It might not be eclipsed by the wall. Yeah, it is. I mean, it gives it rigidity, but it means the framing doesn't quite work because you can't see that bit of it. You can here. Well, that's something to be considering then for the next one. So as I said, this is the middle one. Of the three, this is the less important. So, lessons to be learned there, but hey ho. Okay. Next, I need to clean up all the sides. Right, I've got the edges all pretty decent. My next challenge is to mount the little, what are these, casters I think called. So I'm going to have one on each end, but I'm going to want them inset because otherwise it's going to have that kind of void at the bottom of the door, which ain't the end of the world, but I'd like it if it was just the wheel coming out like that. That's probably as good as I'm going to get it, which is all right. So for that to happen, I need to excavate some of this, but I haven't got much to play with there. Basically, I've got a laminate on both edges. So I've got an up and down, I've got one at the top and one at the bottom. Which means I'm gonna have to, I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna be able to route it out because, well, I'm not very confident with it. I don't think I've got the right bits. So I don't think that's gonna work. I might have to drill it and chisel it. Right, it's getting there. Can pretty much fit it in. I've taken everything off the bottom one. I've got to flip it over now and get it off the top one. Well, there we go. That's a bit of a relief. Didn't snap it, and it fits in kind of exactly how I want it to. It's quite a nice snug fit as well. So I think I can screw that in from the underneath, and then yeah, I think it should be all right. Those two little bits of laminate, they're not going to really come into much contact, I wouldn't have thought. Right, that's all screwed in. That does not stick out much. Literally, that's it. I'm pretty happy with that. I was going to put 3 on. I'm certainly not going to now. So just another one at that end. Right, there are both casters now inside the door. It's a bit tricky getting that one in because obviously it has to line up perfectly with that one, which I think it does. Right, now to affix the wheels on to the end. Right, I've gone in with a piece of 5mm. I have also put it across there as well, just because obviously that's where I'm going to have to substitute the floor for that. Right, now I'm going to offer up the door. It's got the wheels on the bottom. I haven't done anything to the top yet, so I just want to, because I might have to trim the top to see if this is going to fit in. Okay, yeah, I need to trim the top a bit. Actually, quite a lot. But the wheels seem to work on the bottom, that's good. That makes a well nice sound. Okay, cool, right. Feels pretty rigid though. I'm wondering if I can make the top of the door kind of arched, but I think it needs to come down a bit further. I think it should be, I don't know, maybe a bit like that. It kind of works. See if I can hold that in place. Whoa. Delicate. That'll be okay, I think. There's not much room for the wheels though. I mean there is, but that's all right, I guess. Okay. Let's put the wheels on. I can't do much about that wall. I can't really, I guess I could pin it out the way for the time being. Because it needs that cupboard on it to kind of stand true. Right, let's put the wheels on. I should probably measure it first, shouldn't I? Stay. Right, now the important thing is to mount these wheels to mount them square and true basically, which without a pillar drill on this type of thing isn't particularly easy, but I'm going to give it my best attempt. Okay, this is going quite well. That wheel's working nicely, but come up with a slight design problem. The door doesn't close because that wheel is obviously catching there, so it needs to move quite far further back, so about here. That's no big deal. Okay, so therefore for better balance, I think I'll move that one back to maybe there, and that one back to about there. I'm just doing some tweaking, some minor adjustments to get this thing to hang correctly, so it's nice and kind of taut between the two sets of wheels. So it wants to be kind of clipping onto there quite securely. A bit more. So in terms of gap, well, there ain't much, but then I didn't want it to be. I wanted it to be exactly the thickness of that, which is 25mm. So yeah, that's that works out quite nicely. Oh yeah, that really does work nicely. That's a decent action on that. Oh, I better not do that, it's going to fall down. Right. Oh my word. It actually works. doesn't go back fully. Oh, it's because I put that stopper in. Oh, there we go. Happy days. That's got a really nice action. Yeah, obviously when that's away. Happy days. Yeah, there's not much flex to that. I need to secure a bit better on that one, to be honest. But I can do that tomorrow when I've got a bit of light. I could possibly do with shaving a bit off there and letting it come flush. I could do that. I don't think I'm going to be able to take, I mean I could take a bit more off than that to enable some of this bit to be visible from the other side. Put the other walls on, that is going to be the absolute nuts. I'm well chuffed with that. Just need some kind of handle or something or other, because it's a bit of a pinch. Now the only thing I'm going to have to work out is at the bottom whether I have a rail. Something I could do on this edge here where there's no, sorry about the light, this is awful. On this edge here where there's no border, I could stick in another piece of 9mm. Obviously you won't see the edge on that side, but kind of bring it up in line to there. So it kind of looks the same, because that's going to help differentiate between the cupboards and the walls and all that. Obviously you have to put something on this to face this. This bit here is going to be trim next to the cupboard, so that's all right. But yeah, that door's going to have something on it. It's just so nice, that action. Makes it quite a good sound as well. This wall needs to be pulled away like by a couple of mil, which it will be easy enough when I build that cupboard there. Just thinking, so I can get to it there as well. And this wall's not going to have anything built against it for a while, so that's going to be that's going to work out all right, I think, to be honest. Right, what else do I need to do on this? I do need to colour it. I bought some wood stain, but it was it's mahogany, which I thought would be all right, but I don't know, it doesn't quite look right. So I'll show it to you. I'm not going to be able to see it very well in the light, but it's that. So it's kind of, I mean, it's an okay thing. So I'm thinking of maybe doing the border in mahogany, and I might actually see if I can do something to keep that as timber. Just varnish that one as opposed to paint it. But obviously just need it a different colour to the walls. Maybe that'll work. Don't know, it should be a bit darker possibly. I don't know, but then if it's too dark you don't really see the grain. But I can come on to that another time. In the meantime, that is one pocket door done, 2 to go. And there is quite a bit of learning has taken place, so I think the next 2 will be an improvement on this, which is good because this is pretty good. I think I am going to need that rail at the bottom, which means taking this off. In fairness, it's not too much of a ball ache to get it back on, but the rail will just keep it straight, because when it's like this, there will be a little bit of movement, like a wobble on that bit. So I might have to have that going into something. That's the way to fix that problem. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you so much also to Kevin Rymar for buying me some coffees. It's helped purchase some of this timber. Cheers, see you tomorrow, bye bye.